Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today this is going to be our last, pretty much our last podcast of the regular season for 2019. And Jeff, after 10 long years, you can finally say you have won a championship in fantasy football. Okay, that's a little harsh. You've won one in the main league we're in. You've won other championships, but hey, finally you're a champ.
Finally. It's been a long time coming. I just want to thank everyone who stuck in there with me. I'd like to thank the Academy. But I think it's good. I'm waiting for Monday to be over. I'm not even joking. I've been waiting for this one a long time. I think I've won like 3 championships in the past 3 years, none of which are this one. You know, it's one of the other 3 main ones we have. And everyone you ask who plays with us, this is the one. Like you don't really care if you win the other ones. Everyone has that one that they need to win, and it has been eluding me forever. I think I'm only second in points, second in wins to Craig, and I have not yet won a title. And finally, I did it. It feels great. I feel like Ali. I'm the greatest. I have some champagne chilling, waiting for tomorrow when it's official.
I think I wrapped up 5 championships today, actually. That's not a joke, actually. I did.
No, the relegation leagues and all that?
Yeah. I think 4 of them in relegation leagues. Or no, it makes that 6 because I think 4 of them are in relegation leagues, and I have 2 others today. So, hey, not bad. That's when you know you're in too many leagues. But I will say, I would trade all those for a championship in the other one. So, hey, it does matter more.
It does. It's sad to say, but it feels good.
Well, and one of the reasons you won the title, which is so many teams that I saw this year, it's Lamar Jackson mainly. That's who was won titles. You had Lamar, you had Christian McCaffrey, and they've just won title after title. And Lamar again today, 238 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, ran the ball for 103 yards.
Yeah. Came up, and that's true. I mean, he would, if we're talking about who would be the MVP, I think obviously it would be between him and McCaffrey. You're talking about fantasy wise, and I honestly think it would be Lamar. I think that he had bigger games down the stretch when he needed him. He was crazy this year. He was that good, and so good to see that a player of that caliber, or especially like a young guy like that, he didn't have too many ups and downs, which we loved from the very beginning. That running, we always talk about that booing him, but yeah, he has been phenomenal, especially in the past 3 weeks when everyone's in the playoffs. He has not upset you like a lot of other players have, especially this week. A lot of people underperformed. He did not.
No, he's just been consistently good. I'm telling out of the championships I won, Lamar was my quarterback in probably 4 or 5 of them. It's just, he's been that good, and it's unreal. Like, the problem is now next year he's going to be overdrafted. He's going to be drafted too high, I think. I think that's what happens with Mahomes. Mahomes couldn't quite live up to that. I mean, Lamar's going to be tough to stop though next year. I don't know. Teams can have all offseason. I don't know if you can figure this out.
Injury would be the worry, but even if he doesn't duplicate the numbers he put up this year, you still have to believe that he's going to be a darn good quarterback for fantasy.
But if you go talk about some of the scoring leaders this week, if you're going to subscribe to the wait on quarterback theory, which we kind of have, and that's how we got Lamar in a lot of leagues, this week is a pretty clear indication of that. I mean, you can throw guys out there, and this is what's going to happen. Daniel Jones was the top quarterback with 45.3. Just crazy. Andy Dalton, 41.8. And then Ryan Fitzpatrick, 39.7 before you get to Lamar. And, I mean, those guys, Fitzpatrick's a good fantasy quarterback. Daniel Jones, he has a future. We'll see. Andy Dalton, you would have never thought that. And then the 5th place was Ryan Tannehill, again, for 29.7. But that just shows you can find quarterbacks late. And as much as I love Lamar, drafting him, if you don't have him as a keeper, I am going to probably not have him on many teams next year. It's going to be really hard to find myself a Lamar on my team because he's going to go 2nd round. He's going to. I can see 2nd round, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think about what Mahomes went for this year. It's going to be the same thing all over again.
Yep.
And let's be honest, Mahomes didn't, you drafted him very, very high. He was still a top 10 quarterback.
And that's with missing a couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And, especially after this week, I mean, he's going to be over 30 points. He's going to be looking really good. He'll probably end up being like a top 5 looking guy. I mean, that's successful. I mean, you did a good job, but you could have got Lamar Jackson for much, much later. And
then I guess there's a few disappointments today that really kind of screwed fantasy teams over. I've seen it in a couple leagues. Deshaun Watson, 9.1 points today. He really, really hurt some fantasy teams. Dak, 11.3. Russell Wilson, 13. Jameis yesterday had 13. So there was a few players that just, I mean, who would have thought you could go Daniel Jones, Dalton, Fitzpatrick would have been the starts over guys like that. But that's fantasy for you. Doesn't always work out. But yeah, Deshaun Watson really, really hurt teams today. Yesterday. Yeah.
Especially that everyone thought it was and you do see this quite a few times even this year, where you think it is set up to have a very high powered offensive day. You have 2 very bad defenses going against 2 high powered offenses, and it just doesn't click. It just doesn't happen that day. So it's one of those things for all best laid plans. This stuff can go sideways. That's why you need a full team. You can't just rely on a few guys.
Then with Jameis, it was bad Jameis that showed up yesterday. Jeez. That was not a good day for him. I mean, I think he lost himself some money yesterday. He's not getting that long-term deal anymore. He's just going to get franchise tagged now.
Yeah, you would think.
Then running back-wise, I mean, number 1 pick Saquon Barkley showed up.
Finally. A little bit late, but the frick, man, if looking at what he is capable of, that's why I'm not afraid to take him again next year. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't take him number 1.
It's been some bad defenses, bad teams, but
100%. I mean, really, what he's able to do in Miami and Washington, yeah.
But this puts him back in the conversation for sure.
Yeah, and if he didn't get hurt and that offense wasn't so disjointed to begin with, I mean, even in the very beginning, you're playing Dallas and Buffalo, right, which are good teams. 13.9, 19.5. Then, you hit Tampa Bay where you get banged up and then you're out for 3 weeks. I think it's difficult to have this stop and go kind of nonsense going on. So I think next year, hopefully there'll be a little more of a foundation there. Daniel Jones has proven himself to be at least capable. So I think that will really help. Hopefully Sterling Shepard, Ingram, all those guys stay healthy. I truly believe that Saquon will get back on track.
Then our second place guy of the week was Kenyon Drake. 2 huge games in a row. This one was bolstered by an 80-yard touchdown. But hey, if you got to the title game or the last 2 weeks, whatever, the playoffs, and you were playing Kenyon Drake, and I mean, there's teams that's happened for. Like if you had injuries, man, he just won championships too right there, which is unreal. Did great.
And the question we had asked us before, what is going to happen next year? It's very interesting, though, because Drake, we talked about him in the preseason, and he was on Miami, so we said, if they use him more, we think that he would actually be a worthwhile pick. And then he gets moved, and you're starting to see what he's able to do if you give him more than 10 carries. And, once again, these aren't, nothing teams either. Cleveland has obviously suffered, but Seattle is pretty decent. But if you give him 24 carries, he will do well, and that'll be a very interesting offense next year.
The weird thing with the David Johnson thing is if the guy's not healthy, why would he be playing at all? You know what I mean?
Agree with you. I don't know.
So if he was actually truly not healthy, he wouldn't be out here. He'd just be on IR. He'd be done for the year. I mean, it's clear to me that they're just Kenyon Drake's a better running back. David Johnson's, but I think honestly, David Johnson he just is done. I think he's done. I think it's over. I
don't get it either. I have a hard time believing that. I mean, and even the weirder part too was he didn't get a leg injury, right? I mean, it was a wrist injury that really stopped him. So I'm not sure how you could lose that much in 1 year if you didn't blow out a knee or something.
I don't know. It just seems to be really done for him. But all right, some other good games I guess today. Devontae Freeman, solid day with a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown over 127 total yards. So solid day there. Alvin Kamara showed up today again. Another guy showing up at the end. So he could have showed up 2 weeks ago. Alvin screwed me in the league. Like, I would have won another title today if it was for Alvin Kamara 2 weeks ago against San Francisco. All I needed was 2 more points. He had 2.3, needed 4.3. That's all I needed. Miles Sanders looking pretty good there with the touchdown running, 79 rushing yards, 77 receiving, so solid days there. And then Christian McCaffrey. I mean, only 54 on the ground, but 15 catches for 119 yards. So his standard scoring is only 17.3, but you throw him into PPR, and it's just ridiculous what this guy's scoring.
Yeah, it is. He's phenomenal. He really is unbelievable to watch because you don't get in the end zone and you're still at 17, and that's without the, like you were talking about, PPR, which if you did, that is, it's just ridiculous numbers. And even crazier, like, yes, that is his high, but he's also caught over 10 or over 4 other times. So it's not good. It's not that out of the norm.
No, he's a pretty good player, I'd say. It's not too bad. Then, the rest of the list, it's just funny, some of these names on here. This is what happens when you get to week 6, 7, or 16. Other than like Gurley and Gordon are there, but not with their yardage. They just got each 2 touchdowns rushing that bolstered their day. And Marlon Mack had a solid day, but there's like DeAndre Washington and Jordan Wilkins, Rex Burkhead, Naheem Hines, Myles Gaskin. It's just Justice Hill. Oh, fantasy can be crazy sometimes. And then Zeke wasn't really special at all for fantasy here. If you had the playoffs and had Zeke, and he did good last week, but this week only 8.4 in standard, not much going on there. Joe Mixon 7.3, really not much there. And then Chris Carson gets hurt, and which was supposed to be a great matchup for him. And he was top 5 everyone's ranks this week, and he gets hurt, so only gets 6 out of it. And I had disappointment. Dick Chubb 4.5. There's a lot of disappointments this week at running back.
Across the board, really, I think that this week just, is going to decimate a lot of people. I know that this is probably the finals week, your final game, if not next week. But the primetime players did not come out and do very well. You look at it, and the top end is filled with players that probably are on teams that didn't make the playoffs at all. Mm-hmm. And that's what it comes down to. And you're hoping that you did get to play a player like Miles Sanders, who you could have got later, and you get to play. But other than that, and you'll see it. QB was another one that was like that. But we see it all the way through this week.
And then a lot of just injuries. Derrick Henry ended up being surprise inactive there. It wasn't really until like Saturday we didn't really know anything was gonna keep him out, but no Derrick Henry, obviously no Josh Jacobs, no Dalvin Cook. He's for Monday night, which is just funny how that worked out. All year we preached to get Madison, we talked about it every single week, and it almost came true. And then Madison gets hurt too.
Yeah. So
but the thought worked. The thought was right?
It was
the process
correct.
was right.
Yeah.
It was. We knew you needed the backup running back for the Vikings. It's just what you needed. So we'll see how Boone does. Wide receiver wise, Tyler Boyd he's the top receiver of the week in standard with 9 for 128, 2 touchdowns, which you didn't get anything from Tyler Boyd basically all year except for a couple sporadic good games. Only just a handful, which I think week 2, week 5, week 12, and week 16 doesn't really do much for you for fantasy.
No. And you will see a wide receiver, no one went crazy, right? So Tyler Boyd, and I'm just talking standard scoring here, but Tyler Boyd was the only one to go over 20 points. And then you have Michael Thomas,
Thomas is
week
insane.
to week is unbelievable. 12 receptions, 136 yards, and a touchdown. But after that, listen to the names. Steven Sims Jr., Tajay Sharp, Devontae Parker, Hunter Renfrow. Then you hit Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, and then Deontay Johnson, Sterling Shepard, and then Kenny Galladay. But
Deshaun Hamilton then
oh my gosh. Yeah. Half of the top 10, 6, 7 of them are definitely not on any roster that's playing in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So once again, it was hilarious to kind of watch this week unfold because everyone catching touchdowns were not the usual. Michael Thomas did great. Julio did great. Kenny Galladay actually pulled out a very respectable day, even though he's getting thrown to by the third string quarterback. It shouldn't be a good matchup. He is one of these players that I think that people will sleep on a little bit next year because he had such a because it wasn't like a flashy year. It was a good year. It really was. He's going to end up being a top 5 guy. Very solid all the way through. And he did half of it without Stafford. I think he is going to be a great one to target next year.
Then some other disappointments, I guess, then other than that. Like Amari Cooper was a disappointment.
Oh, so terribly.
He has been that for, a good chunk of this latter half of the season here. And he was coming into the day as the 8th ranked wide receiver. But yet, man, he has been, if you had him on your team going to the playoffs, you most likely have lost. He's just been that bad and just been terrible. DeAndre Hopkins, 5 for 23 yesterday.
Yep.
Juju came back and played today. Did you even realize it?
Probably not. Because
2 for 22.
He did not do well.
T.Y. Hilton's been playing the last couple weeks. Did anybody realize T.Y. Hilton's been playing for 2 weeks in a row here? He had 4 for 25 last week, 3 for 26 this week. It's just, some of those names. DJ Chark actually did play. Didn't know if he would or not. Only 2 for 18.
Yeah, that was a rough one. You were hoping he was going to get a little more.
And Tyler Lockett, 1 for 12.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk, 2 carries for 9 yards.
It was. All the way through. You look at a lot of these names and they just disappointed.
Yeah, they really. DJ Moore got knocked out. That one sucked. 1 catch, 1 yard, gets knocked out. Man. DK Metcalf, nothing. 1 target, no catches. Man, Darius Slayton, 2 targets, no catches. Hopefully, you didn't start relying on that guy. Man, fantasy. That's what it does to you. No fun, huh?
Yeah,
some of those.
No.
But it's fun right now. You won a title, so it's all good. You picked the right ones. Then tight end. Tight end actually has 3 players in standard scoring above 20 when only 1 receiver was there. So not, interesting there.
The odd game. And 2 of them probably had a very good chance of playing. The one that was the surprise, who we're hoping that is the young guy coming into his own, but Mike Gesicki. 2 touchdowns. He looked good.
He was my starting tight end in the big money league I won today. So
look at that. Actually, that's pretty impressive.
There we go. I had him play. So
And Goddard catches a touchdown. He had a really good game too.
Man,
91
Goddard.
yards and a touchdown. I tell you, a lot of these young guys, you're starting to see them come up. The ones that we kind of talk about filling in for people when you needed them. But Gesicki, Goddard, depending on what happens with Jonnu Smith, I know he's not necessarily young, but kind of the one. Tyler Higbee, another good game.
Higbee's been great.
So a lot of good guys.
The Goddard thing was interesting. I was watching that game, and I swear one drive, he was targeted like 6 straight plays with Ertz on the field. It was just Goddard. It was, man, I could see something changing next year with that. The guy's too talented to not get a lot of balls thrown his way.
And I tell you, I thought it was going to be a little more. This year was a pretty good step. It was a step in the right direction, right? I thought he played very, very well, especially for a young tight end. But if you look at that team, and I thought it was going to be a little more of this, where I thought that the 2 tight end look was going to pay dividends for Ertz and Goddard, because I still think that they are the 2 most talented players on the field at the same time. And, because Jeffrey, he's good. He's a very good wide receiver, but he has been playing for quite a while, and, he gets banged up. Other than that, who else would you say? Miles Sanders is starting to look very, very good, but Howard was the running back. So if I'm looking at the most dynamic playmakers, it would be both tight ends. So I'm hoping next year it's going to be because I don't see a huge change. Maybe they get 1 wide receiver or something like that, but I like both of them for next year.
Yeah, I don't see how they have to use the guy, right? He's going to be used quite a bit. So that's pretty much it.
I was going to say the 2 guys we didn't mention were actually Mark Andrews and Jared Cook.
They
were the 2 big guys that did very, very well. So both scoring over 20 points, both of them scoring 2 touchdowns. Do you have any for next year? I'm excited to see what Mark Andrews can keep doing. Jared Cook, though, he did it. He did well this year. He's one of these guys that always disappoints, but he came through in the clutch. What do you think about Jared Cook?
You know what? Hey, he was the last couple of weeks. He's been pretty good here, and last week wasn't as much, but he had those 2 touchdowns before he got hurt against San Francisco. He's been getting a lot of touchdowns. if he's back another year with the Saints, he's going to be a good tight end option. He's going to be up there. I wasn't sold on him, but you know what? This year was different. It was actually it was more consistent. It wasn't like just big blow up games and then nothing. He was more consistent with the touchdowns. I guess playing with Drew Brees is a difference, right?
Yeah. Well, and I got to give him his props because I am one of the, you always see the talent, and every year everyone tells you that Jared Cook is going to be this phenomenal athlete. He's going to do all these things. And, I started shying away from him. But after seeing what he was able to do here, and, he missed 2 games, and he played quite a few games with Bridgewater, I have been impressed to see what he was able to put together full season.
Before we jump into week 17 point spread picks, I want to once again mention mybookie.com, who's back on board with the podcast again this week. Go there, use our promo code PROPHET, PROPHET, get you hooked up there. We got college football now going. We got NFL week 17 yet, playoffs coming up, all kinds of stuff to bet on right now. You can go there, do some parlays with the bowl games, make them a little more interesting. I mean, some of these bowl games, no one really cares about. But if you put a couple little dollars on that thing, makes it a lot more enjoyable. It gives you some kind of rooting interest here as, maybe hopefully you're off work this week a little bit here, enjoy time with family. But hey, it always helps out to have a little rooting interest in a college game. So get over to MyBookie, use that promo code PROPHET, PROPHET, get you set up there. Check out the college games, check out the NFL games. Hey, or you go to NBA games if you want. You can always have NBA games every single day. There's always some kind of action you can get involved with. But now let's get over to the picks.
So, all right, I think it's going to be – let's move over to point spreads. We're going to do this early this week. This is really early for point spreads. But, hey, this is the only episode of the week. So might as well get some in here. I will say, though, pulling up the records here. All right, so we got 2 games left, actually, yet for the week. We got Kansas City, Chicago going right now. It looks like we're both going to get this one. It was a -4 Kansas City. We both picked Kansas City, so we should get that one. Then tomorrow night, we both have Green Bay +4.5 against Minnesota. So we will, either way, whatever happens, our records won't change between each other. So as of right now, I was 8-5-1 for the week, Jeff. You were 9-4-1.
Oh, baby.
That means...
How many am I down?
So going into the final week, I am, as of right this second, I am 109, 92-2, or 92-3. 109, 92-3. You are 108, 93-3.
Oh, I love it.
So I should just let you pick first, and I'll pick whoever you pick.
Yeah, just ride me throughout the whole thing.
I don't think I can do that, but here we go. This is big. This is an entire year of picks, and yet we're only one difference, at all. So might as well see what we got here. All right, let's start it off. Titans at Texans. Texans 1.5 point favorites. Titans at Texans.
Actually, no, give me Titans.
Give me Texans. I'll go with the Texans.
There we go. In Tannehill, I trust.
Browns at Bengals. Browns 3-point favorites on the road at Cincinnati.
No, give me Cleveland.
I'm going to too. Bengals they already have the number 1 pick, so it doesn't matter. I guess nothing matters in this game. I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to play it. Bears at Vikings. Vikings 7-point favorites at home against the Bears.
7, huh?
Yep.
No.
I'm going to go Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vikings as well.
Colts at Jacksonville. Jacksonville 1.5 point favorites at home against the Colts. I'm going to go Colts, actually.
I am too.
Jacksonville has just not been good.
Yeah, they didn't look that great today. Colts looked, they looked really good. Their defense looked really good.
Falcons at Buccaneers. Bucks are 1.5 point favorites. I'm going to go Bucks, actually, because even though they're not going to be in the playoffs, I just feel like they're not going to slow down this game, and it might be a good Jameis game. So I'll go Bucks. Thinking about the Falcons, aren't you?
But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go Buccaneers as well.
All right, Redskins at Cowboys. Cowboys 8.5 point favorites.
Oh no!
Guess what?
You're going
Redskins.
Washington,
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they sucked so bad today. You know what? Give me the Cowboys though. I feel like this is how I'm going to have to win. I have to go with Dallas.
I want the Redskins to just win this game outright. So if the Redskins were to win this game and the Lions lose, Lions get the second pick. And it means Chase Young to the Detroit. I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
They'd pass up on him to draft a cornerback or something.
I mean, we need another tight end, right?
Yeah, they'd draft Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver. They would probably not pick Chase Young. That'd probably be it for my Lions fandom. All right, Saints at Panthers. Saints 10.5-point favorites. Give me the Saints. Panthers are terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Eagles at Giants. Eagles 4.5-point favorites. They need to win this thing to make sure they're in the playoffs, and I'm going to go Eagles.
Yeah, I got to go Eagles as well.
Steelers at Ravens. Ravens 3-point favorites at home against the Steelers.
Oh, 3-point favorites?
Yeah. I mean, I think they got the number 1 seed wrapped up, though. I think that's part of this. Where do they need to do much?
Yeah, do they?
I'm still going to go with them.
I'm still going to go Baltimore. I don't think three doesn't scare me off.
You got Jets at Buffalo. Buffalo 4.5. I'll take Buffalo.
Yeah, give me the Bills as well.
Dolphins at Patriots. Patriots 14.5-point favorites.
Oh my gosh, really? Give me. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying. Give me Miami.
I'll go Patriots. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to win off of the Dolphins and Dallas. Oh my god.
We got Packers at Lions. Packers 8.5-point favorites. I mean, give me Green Bay. Come on. Detroit better not do anything this game. They better not come close.
Yeah, give me the Packers too.
All right, we got Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs 6.5-point favorites. I'll take Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chargers they've been probably besides for Cleveland, they might actually be the most disappointing team for me.
They really have been. Cardinals at Rams. Rams 7.5-point favorites at home against the Cardinals. Rams have nothing to play for anymore. They're out of it. Cardinals have been looking a lot better. They beat the Seahawks today.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Cardinals if it's 7.5.
I'll go Rams.
There we go.
49ers. Here we go. This is a big game. 49ers at Seahawks. This is basically, I think, determine the number 1 seed, essentially. 49ers at Seahawks. 49ers 1-point favorites. I'm going to go 49ers.
It's going to be a pick 'em.
I'll go 49ers.
Yeah, give me 49ers as well. And
then Raiders at Broncos. Broncos 4.5-point favorites at home against the Raiders. I'm going to go Raiders.
4.5, huh? Give me, actually, I'll take Denver.
All right, so there are picks. So the only ones that end up mattering for who's going to win here is you have, let's see here, Titans, Texans. I have Texans -1.5. You went Titans there. We have, let's see where other differences. Redskins at Cowboys. You picked Cowboys -8.5. I went Redskins. Patriots, Dolphins game there. I have Patriots -14.5. You have Dolphins there +14.5. And then Cardinals, Rams. I went Rams -7.5. You went the Cardinals side, and then the Raiders, Broncos there. You went Broncos -4.5. So we have a few differences there. Enough to see who wins this overall for the year. It's going to be either way. I think we will finish above 500. So hey,
we should.
Yeah, I feel good about that. We should. It'd be really messed up if we did.
No.
Then next week's show we'll probably do. I think the next one we do, which will be after week 17, probably do our award show we do for this season, do our MVP, stuff like that. We'll also make sure we get shout outs to all of the relegation league winners, that those are finishing up today. And I think I don't remember exactly how many I got here, but I got a couple of them myself. So I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. And we can tell you who's going up and who's going down. So we can give the whole rundown. That'll be a fun show. Actually.
I'll give one shout out here quick. Beginners League 4, the Tiny Dancers led by Nick Phillips won the title actually.
Oh, suck it, Nick.
Yeah, he pulled off the victory here with let's see here. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, who hasn't even played yet. So he already got the victory without his quarterback. That's not bad.
Who was he playing that messed up? Was he playing Watson?
No, he played against Ryan Fitzpatrick, actually.
No kidding. And he's already won it. Wow.
And Christian McCaffrey.
That's really impressive. Who the heck was he playing?
So, okay, he had, let's see if I can pull this up. I just lost it. You're going to look at this and be like, yeah, how'd that team really win the title there? All right, let me find it here. One last time. Okay, so he has Rodgers at quarterback this week. He had Joe Mixon, Mark Ingram, Julio Jones, Devontae Parker, Rashad Perriman, Zach Ertz, New York Jets D, and Joey Sly at kicker. Doesn't really feel championship level, does it to you?
I mean, first of all, he made a lot of good picks. Actually, that is very good.
That shows some good waiver wire moves.
If he's playing Fitzpatrick and McCaffrey,
he also went against Chris Carson, Tyler Lockett, Darius Slayton, O.J. Howard, Keenan Allen.
Oh, okay. So literally the only two people to put up numbers.
Yeah. This is one of the few leagues where the Lamar Jackson owner doesn't make the title game. So that's disappointing for the Lamar Jackson guy. All right. But yeah, we'll do a good, complete rundown on that after the season there as well. Get out shout outs to all the champ. I was going to mention the Champions League champion tonight, but that one's still going on tomorrow night. We got Mike Boone in that one. So that one hasn't been decided yet either, but we'll go over all that. We'll do our awards. We'll decide if it's Christian McCaffrey or if it's Lamar Jackson for MVP. I think that's pretty much the choices. There is no other choices at this point.
Yes, but the other ones will be good picks.
With some good ones. But you did have Christian McCaffrey as your preseason MVP, so we'll see if you want to decide to keep with, what you did. So we'll find out.
Just to make myself right.
But, all right, that'll do it for the regular season. Actually, we'll be back after week 17 with all of the off season. Talk to you guys later.